Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, where today we are going to do the Backasswards challenge, where you start off with a build, and you have to beat Mega Satan, and then we'll just do the rest of the challenge. For now, the build you get is random. The build we got right now is fine. Most of the difficulty in this challenge is very much in the start of it, I feel. If you don't get a good start, it can get real messy, but we're gonna see. I don't really feel like resetting for a build because it really makes the challenge extremely easy if you do so. You can just reset for a build that's just hopefully incredible. And then once you got that, you're pretty much good to go for the rest of the run, I feel. But we'll see if this run is this build is even capable of beating Mega Satan, because we have a build that requires me to be close range with Tech 2, which is long range and also ruins my tier rate. We at least made it to the first part where he summons enemies, so I'd call that a win in a way. These enemies die reasonably quickly, and that's at least something. And yeah, we're just gonna try and focus on beating Mega Satan for now. Everything else about this challenge is not yet relevant because we're not there yet. This death is summoning a lot of scythes. He has now gone away from scythe spawning mode though, so now we can just focus on all the other nastiness. It is actually surprisingly tricky to do this boss with a build that's just awful, so it is it's going the way it is. The items we currently have are in a nice order, at least, so that's good. We have a 100% root chance of angel rooms for the remainder of this challenge. That'll become relevant later. And I'm just kind of hoping I can keep this build, really, because it will actually be genuinely good enough for the rest of the challenge, I feel. It's just that this starting bit is a little bit precarious, but we'll see. For now, I'm just gonna keep shooting up. With Tech 2, we will be able to just keep shooting up at least, and we'll always be dealing a little bit of damage to old Mega Satan here. That's gotta count for something. There we go. Onwards to Super Envy. This is gonna take a minute, but again, these regular enemies do die reasonably quickly. I'm a little bit worried about the third enemy summon of this particular wave. But hopefully that's not going to be a problem. I also altered my monitor settings a little bit. This is not something you're going to be able to see. But it's made this fight really dark. I don't know if I've cursed the darkness right now. I do. That's why. That's what's happening. That does explain things a little bit. But I might need to adjust those settings a little bit, I suppose. If we can get Sloth to do a Brimstone attack there, that might make life a little bit easier on this front. Two of them are already dead. The third one is a little bit awkward, I feel, to try and hit in my current situation, but I am going to mostly focus on that one. There we go. And that just leaves this last one. I should do that more frequently, because I feel like that strat actually works pretty well against the sins. Just gonna hang out here a little bit before he summons the angels, though. I do feel like summoning the angels goes a little bit quicker than all the other summons, at least. I'm hoping this shouldn't take too long. Oh god. Unfortunately, I can't always see his hand, so it is a little bit of a worry. But there we are. I'm not overly concerned about my health as long as I kind of get through this alive. Then we should be good to go either way. For this, I'm just going to hang out next to the angel for as long as I can. Onwards to the next one. The angel, things are dying pretty quickly at least, so... Well, arguably. You can get some pretty bad builds at the start of this. You can get something incredible. I did a practice run where I got Sacred Heart and just decent tier rate, and honestly, that was enough to destroy everyone. So if you can get something like that, then yeah. Should have just done the practice run. That one was done in like 15 minutes. This one's not going to be done that quickly. Started off with flight and everything. It was great. Really liked that one. But for now, we're just going to do our best. We're getting pretty far into this fight, at least. I'm kind of hoping I could just focus on Mega Satan from this point on. I'm not sure if I can get away with that with these idiots. So I might just try and kill them. Oh yeah, this is pretty rough. At least Greed just died. So that's something. And he summoned more. Great. I'm just gonna... Yeah, okay, good. I figured I dealt enough damage to him that I could probably get away with attacking him from that point, but... Yeah, a little bit scary for sure. Now, let's hope that Mega Satan Phase 2 is gonna play nice. He so far is... not great, because that, I think, put me in a corner there, the way I was dodging that. This is also not ideal. I'd really like him to do attacks that are easy to dodge rather than the attacks that are more difficult. But that's okay. We'll make do with what we get here. That should fall away pretty easily. There we go. Flame attack. This is going to take a minute. This phase usually takes pretty long, but with this build in particular, it is going to take a while. Especially since I can't really get close, and my build really does... Most of the damage is done on close range with this build, unfortunately, so... I do really need to get as close as possible, but simultaneously, I am getting a little bit lower on health than I'd like to be. This is also just not great. The soul is also just really nice to have for the start of this challenge, at least, because you end up shooting away so much of Mega Satan's tears here. You don't have to worry about dodging as much. But oh well, we're doing fine. Yep, that's what fine looks like. Quickly ran forward to get rid of a lot of tears there. God, there is no space here right now. A lot of cracks in his face. That's looking good. Just gonna stick on this side now. A bit more in the middle this time rather than on the far edge. Very nice. Very good. Closing in on the end of this fight, I'm hoping. That's not good. This is... What is this shooting? Little concerned. Not yet dead. There we go. Mega Satan's dead. Very nice. He dropped a heart. He opened the door. And now we can leave to the previous floor. And that's pretty much the whole challenge. Every time you leave a floor, you lose, I believe, a health container. And the last item that you have, or the first item that you picked up technically. So this one would be the blood bag that we lose out on, which I think mostly is a speed down for us. I am going to take this because I think that's pretty close to conjoined. But also it's basically an item we're never going to lose. So picking up a couple items here is a pretty good idea. The moment we go up there though, it is going to start the next boss fight, which is Satan. So again, it does get a little bit tricky if you got no build. Kind of tempted to explore this floor a little bit, but that can be rather dangerous, of course. Picking up all those items is kind of nice, and you can get some consumables and some extra items on this floor as well, but you can also just get some bosses that are really hard to kill, or bosses that just accidentally damage you immediately. And it would be nice if we can get rid of those as quickly as possible, of course. It is a challenge, so it's technically not hard mode, so getting red heart shouldn't be as difficult, but we did sacrifice a bunch of our red heart containers, and that also worries me a little bit, due to the simple fact that we do need to kind of find some way to not die at the end of this. Soul hearts do help out in that regard, of course. I'm gonna do at least one more here. Kind of hoping to just have a nice amount of health as we leave this floor. So taking damage there, not exactly what I had in mind. I also just used the shovel at like the starting room, and that's just because I think you can get trapdoors to open in floors where ordinarily you cannot dig to the exit. So I was kind of hoping for that there, didn't get it unfortunately. Well, that spider is incredible. There we go. Yeah, not really getting much health. We're mostly just losing health right now, so it's not exactly working out the way I'd intended. But maybe we can get at least one more item before we leave. That would just be really nice. We have 4 bombs, so that's at least not too terrible. Giant bean, sure. Yeah, didn't get anything there. Let's just do one more room. No. God, the champion just jumped at me and I wasn't aware of it. Red heart. 2 red hearts. Very nice. Good champion. Let's deal with this big spider first. There we go. Yeah, the damage we're dealing right now is great, so doing some of these extra rooms is definitely not too bad, but I'd really like to get an item somewhere along the line. We just need to get a chest drop, you know? It's the only thing we need. God, it's really dark though. I really need to fix my monitor settings. Because it's pretty... I pretty much can't see what's going on in the corners of the screen. It's pretty rough. I'd like to find that room with the little patches of dirt that you can dig up at least, because we do have that shovel right now. That would be really helpful. It would at least be an extra item, right? At least we're getting some consumables, and that's kind of nice, I suppose. 2 death room is never really that great. Because I always take damage in it. I'm just not very good at the room. Because of the large quantity of scythes that you have to worry about. And now there's a bunch of horses flying around. It's a big old mess is what it is, but we made it through relatively unscathed. That's good. That's a lot of ghosts. I was gonna say not immediately terrible, unless you get them to teleport in a bad place. God, no, none of that, no items, none of them items. There we go. We got there in the end. We got through the end of that sentence. Oh God, he's fighting so many spiders, but that's fine as well. It's all good. It's all good. Once you get somewhere in the challenge, it's usually not so bad, but I was counting on at least getting something here. Let's just maybe try and find our item room here then, or our secret room rather. There are no item rooms in this challenge, so that's also something you have to be a little concerned about. There are shops. The shops are nice. They allow you to get some soul hearts every now and then, so coins are also important. Pills can be good. Can also just teleport you to a random room somewhere halfway through the floor. So, a little bit worried about that whole situation right now. But fair enough. The floor is a little bit bigger than I expected as well, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know if the lamb actually shows up on this floor at all. I genuinely haven't looked, so we're gonna find that out, maybe. I'm assuming he's not, but I'm genuinely not 100% sure. This is not ideal. It's a big room at least, so as far as bosses go, a big room for this particular boss fight is kind of nice at least. But it is a lot of them. And it is easy to mess up. As long as you just don't shoot them while they're chasing you, they're not going to do their brimstone attack, which I feel is an important thing that I rarely mention. Because it is kind of awkward to get stuff like that to work out most of the time. Whoops, didn't mean to get hit there, but fair enough. But in a big room like this, you can't just sort of run around until they all start chasing you and then herd them along fairly safely. I'm just going to create a nice and safe path to the start of this floor. This is not too terrible of a room, at least. I say as I nearly get hit by an enemy. Yeah, God, no items. Absolute garbage. Very cool. And that's a dead end with a whole bunch of these horsies inside. One of which decided not to be very nice. Which is unfortunate. I still haven't found the place where I can actually dig something up. But we are running out of rooms on this floor, so theoretically, I should be able to find it soon. There it is. And with a battery as well. So we might be able to get 2 items here. Nope. Maybe 1 item at least. Alright. Yeah, there we go. Didn't lose a health container. That's good enough for me. We did lose tier 8 though, but you know, what are you gonna do? That'll do. I'm just gonna go to Satan and hope I don't die, because quite frankly, this is going quite terribly. We need to beat Satan without getting hit 3 times. A little bit worried. We also need to do the floor. We do lose our blood bag now, so it's a bit of a speed down. We immediately start the Satan fight. We'll just place a bomb there for the sake of making life a little bit easier, and a second bomb to make life even easier. As you see in this room, a little bit trickier to get them to work with you. We'll just try to play this well for once. Usually this fight is alright, but when you have to try really hard, then it gets a little scary. And that can lead to very easily made mistakes. Please no bully from the socks. That would be preferable. There we go. So far so good. Running around way more than I should, but that's fine. The legs are not working with me a lot. I would like to deal a little bit more damage to this boss than I currently am doing, but slowly but surely wins the race. As they say, we get an extra red heart. We cannot run into this chest and accidentally go back to the previous floor, which I guess is a blessing. And yeah, I don't know. Our build's still fine. And as long as we can get out of here, I'm not feeling too worried. I would like to get a little bit more health, but usually the further you get into the run, the more health you get. Occasionally you also just get 2 soul hearts in a row, as you see there. So that's working out at least. But god, the first couple of floors in this challenge are just so stressful if you don't have a build that's incredibly powerful. And I feel that's currently the case. Let's just move this chest to that corner. Maybe we can get a little bit more health. My health situation is actually fine right now, because most of me is healed up. We got some soul hearts. Those don't go away when you go to the next floor. So that's nice. AAA battery is, I guess, kind of... It's probably better than... I'm just going to keep this. Why not? Maybe we'll get like a bean and just really go ham. It can technically happen. We'll use the shovel every time I can in case I get another crawl space. And with another, I mean a crawl space. Hoping for the best here. Trying to use my orbitals to deal damage. And it's working out terribly because I'm running too quickly. Against this enemy, though, not as concerned. Because he does not shoot as long as I'm not. Little bit scary whenever there's many enemies, but... Again, it is a challenge, so we're just getting a lot of hearts right now. And we can't leave the floor at this point, which I'm a little tempted by. I'm not overly loving how this floor is going. Although, well, we're going to lose a heart container anyway. Although I could check out the curse room, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to check out the curse room. This might end up giving me just a little bit more health. A dead cat would actually be really nice as well, because it just... That would just be 9 lives, wouldn't it? I actually don't know what happens if you have dead cat and you go to the next floor and you lose your heart container. Do you just die? That would be pretty rough, I suppose, if that happened. But I'm just kind of hoping that that's not the case. Genuinely not sure. I'd be interested to see what happens, but death would be the worst outcome of that idea, I suppose. Unless you just die and then lose a life and go back to 1 heart because that's what dead cat does. Then it wouldn't be too terrible. It would still be kind of annoying for sure. Either way, I'm out of bombs. Let's just leave. Let's just... Okay. Curse of the Maze, was not aware. Very cool. But we might get some bombs from this at least, so it doesn't have to be all bad. If you could blow up a tinted rock in this room as well, that would just be lovely. For some reason, that one troll bomb was... I guess it was probably stuck in a wall or something, because it didn't do anything. 2 bombs, not too bad. Very nice. Plus an extra use of our shovel, which is not too terrible either. Once again, I will make an attempt to leave this floor. Yeah. Maybe I should actually pick up the heart that was dropped in this room as well. That's not too terrible of an idea. Alright, next up, Mom's heart. We lose another item. I'm really not sure which one. I didn't pay very close attention to what item was up next in the list, but I feel like my tear rate became a lot worse. I might be wrong on that, though. We still have the rotten baby at least and decent damage, so I'm not overly concerned about this one in particular. We have the lucky foot actually, so pills are definitely worthwhile. Plus we are going to get angel rooms and things now. Presumably for pretty much the rest of the run as well, because it's going to take a while before it reaches that item. Also, I still have my blood bag, so I guess it just gets rid of a random item? Actually, I'm not sure now. I'm just gonna hope this does something, but yeah, fair enough. I'm not gonna take Dead Sea Scrolls. The entrance to Hush is just closed, so there's no real point in doing that. Also, you can start the run with a booster pack and just teleport out of the Mega Satan fight. That is also a pretty good way of dealing with that particular issue. But that, of course, requires you to actually get a booster pack at the start of the run, and that is definitely not guaranteed. But if it does happen, it can make life a little bit easier. I see the soul heart, I'll get it in a minute. But if I can be just a little frank, I think we're actually basically okay at this point. Yeah, okay, that's a trapdoor that goes nowhere. We got a scarred wound, but our build is acceptable, and the damage I take doesn't really matter. The nice thing about having the item that gives us 100% angel rooms is that red hearts do continue to just be really, really good, even though we are slowly but surely running out of them. It's just gonna be pretty great. There's a decent chance of getting some kind of flight or something like that. Bad gas. That was a big bad gas as well because of our trinket, I think. There's a good chance of something like Sacred Heart because we're gonna get all angel rooms all the way back up again. And I'm hoping for that. Don't think there's a way I can blow that up before the troll bomb blows it up, right? If I do this... Yeah, I was afraid of that. If we can get flight, we can get some bombs. That'll be kind of neat, I suppose. If we get some more red hearts on this floor, then we can use that blood donation machine and get another blood back, perhaps. If not, not really too concerned either way. We didn't... I thought we didn't take that much damage, but I guess we did just take a full heart of damage. I got confused by the half heart there, but I think I was just missing half a heart of health anyway. So it's, yeah, everything's going as expected. I should be able to at least blow up the blood donation machine in a minute if we're not looking for secret rooms at least. And that can lead to some red hearts as well, but I would actually like to have some bombs available for potential tinted rocks as well, in case there's soul hearts in there, of course. So I might just leave the machine there. Unless I can just find a whole bunch of extra bombs somewhere. Or a very obvious secret room, I suppose. Speed up, not bad. Doesn't really do that much, but it's a little bit of a stat up, and... Well, any stat up right now is good. I'd love tears up, but that's mostly just because of that tech 2 we got going on right now. That is messing with everything a little bit. I'm not sure what was in my arcade, but if there is a machine here, I might actually just play it for a second to try and get an extra bomb. That would actually just be really nice. Because one bomb's just not a lot, you know? Plus we might get some health from this as well, technically, but it is one of the worst ways to try. There we go. 3 bombs, that'll do. I'm just gonna leave, I think. I don't really want to spend any more time on this floor. Instead, let's see what item we're losing today. The item... I didn't really... It's hard to tell, because it is, like, a whole bunch of items that you have, and you're gonna lose one of them. That is Loki. That time it was a blood bag. Yeah, I don't know. Fair enough, I suppose. That is a pretty significant speed down, but the speed up pill that we found makes life a little bit more bearable at least. So that's good. That's another angel room as expected, but also some more tier 8, some more soul hearts. Habit could be good. In case we really want to start digging. It's the only reason I can think of. But maybe we'll get the bean, and then we'll be able to use big farts for the remainder of the run. That'll be pretty good. Yeah, health-wise we're pretty okay now. Damage-wise we're fine. The further we get into the run, we'll have less items, but also the floors become easier, so it just cancels each other out pretty much in terms of difficulty, which is nice. I think if you can manage to do depths without taking too much damage with a bad build, then you'll be okay. Just reaching the depths alone is a little bit treacherous. That was a quick floor. I will just take it and move on because we're just not going to find that much anyway. This should be Mom's foot. Yeah, there we are. We could do boss rush as well if we really wanted to, but I'd rather not. There we go. It's a good use of the habit. Also, from this point on, we're only taking half a heart of damage from all the enemies because we're no longer in the womb. Negative as well, that's really nice. There's some flight, there's some health. That's all the things we really realistically need for a completed run. We are going to lose Proptosis after this floor, I do believe. And that's kind of a shame. Because it probably is dealing decent damage, but simultaneously... I'm not really too bothered. We will get shops from this floor on, so that's at least something worth looking for. As you can see, we're still clearing things pretty quickly. Random soul heart laying here. Soul of Isaac could be good for the next angel room. I was considering just using it immediately. There was also a tinted rock in that previous room, which I will just go for. We have plenty of money, so if we can find our shop, there's a pretty good chance we can get at least something. And I will take the time to actually look for that, because some shop items are amazing. Plus, if we could get Chaos, that would just be pretty fun, wouldn't it? So let's at least try. And to be fair, clearing out rooms right now is going pretty quickly anyways. I'm not really too bothered about spending a little bit of time on this floor. We're not getting any of those trapdoors I would like to see, but yeah, it's unfortunate, but it doesn't hurt too much at the end of the day. We got a golden key, so we can actually just do whatever we want, which is nice, and our shop is here as well. That is more bombs, a friend, a soul heart. Everything a growing me requires. And even more bombs. Alright, so consumable-wise, we're pretty good off. Build-wise, we're pretty okay. I'm a little bit worried about what we're going to get rid of next. I am assuming it's the big eye, which may reduce my damage on the one hand, but simultaneously it might make Tech 2 better. Just because I assume that's just worse on long ranges. And yeah, our damage did go down a little bit there. It is a shame, but I mean, that's a challenge. I probably shouldn't just be running into the enemy like this, but it does clear them out a little bit quicker, ultimately. Now, ideally, we get a angel room health up, that's really nice, with 2 angel statues. Unfortunately, we did not, so let's just destroy this one. We can re-roll that with the Soul of Isaac. We don't really need any way to get more angel rooms, because I do think we're probably going to be okay in that regard. That's a restock machine. I don't really care about either of those items, so why not use that immediately? That's Godhead. And that's more tier 8, so you know what, I'll actually just take that too. And it's the Seraphim transformation, so if we didn't have flight yet, we'll have it now. Unless we lose enough items to lose our Seraphim transformation. But truth be told, Godhead's pretty good. Godhead's pretty great, so honestly, I'm not overly concerned about the remainder of this build, of this run regardless. I already wasn't that worried to begin with, to be frank, but with that in hand as well, it's just really nice. Actually, damn, I was wondering, like, if one of those hands grabs you, it might actually just take you to the start of the floor. That might just make life a little bit quicker as well. I really have no more reason to try and explore things from this point on, just because our builds, it's irrelevant. It's just gotten really strong, regardless of what happens, so looking for items definitely isn't as necessary anymore. But also with the remaining, like this one would have been really good. Also, the prayer card can be really useful in this challenge, just because it can just lead to more red heart containers, and that can just be really useful. There is a trapdoor here finally. And that is the item that I always wanted. Why did I take that? Because we're just having fun at this point. We have a really powerful build to get through some of the easiest floors in the game, so I'm not really too worried about things anymore. I'll use this Emperor's card at some point. I'm not really sure when, but there's probably going to be a good point for it. But from this point on, it really is just running to the exit for a while. We've gotten through the difficult bit. Wild card. I have used my shovel already, haven't I? I'm going to assume the answer is yes, but yeah, I did. That's a shame. If the last thing that I had used was the Soul of Isaac, then that would have been a really nice thing for rerolls, but I didn't expect to get a wild card, if I'm being honest. Small rock? No. But yeah, things like full cards, I'm guessing, work pretty well for this challenge as well, since I assume they just take you to the start of whatever floor you're on. Any kind of teleportation could just be really useful if you don't want to fight bosses, I guess. Like, we're losing items, but it's barely even noticeable at this point. And of course, angel rooms are just really nice. There's some more defense, why not? Just give me a holy mantle, why not? Seems perfectly reasonable to me, if you ask me. Any trapdoor that opens is one that doesn't lead to the next floor, so that's kind of neat, I suppose. And with Holy Mantle, I can also pretty willy-nilly just run into just about every enemy in the game to deal more damage with my orbitals. So, honestly, it's looking like things are about to speed up even more. As long as I play as dangerously as I can. Jar of Flies actually is kind of nice, but let's just not bother. Empress card has been used. Full card, maybe not. Maybe not this run. Maybe at the very end. Nah, maybe not. Maybe I just won't. Because I think that's going to very briefly put me in a situation that's somewhat scary, and I'd rather avoid it. Because I'm pretty sure that takes you to half a heart, right? That's what card is this? Let's just check it out for just a moment. Drops all your consumables on the floor. And some turn into pedestals. Can be pretty good, especially if you want to reroll things. But in my current state, I'd rather not. We lost Tech 2. Just when it would become really, really nice as well. Jar of Wisps. I mean, that's pretty good to get in the basement usually, so I assume it's going to be the same case here. Only takes 12 rooms to recharge, so it's pretty good. Bad gas. We still have our trinkets, so... Look at that. That's a we lost a lucky foot as well, so our pills are no longer guaranteed neutral. A pity, but we are nearly at the end. The challenge ends at the last starting room. Or the first one, depending on how you look at things. It's the one in the basement. Only one remains. Our build is ridiculous. Our build is actually just genuinely really powerful. But that is, I mean, getting infinite angel rooms does help in that regard, I suppose. But after that, we run to the final starting room here. Get a nice little tears up at the end there as well. Magic skin, cool. Can't afford it, unfortunately. Didn't know magic skin showed up in the shop, but fair enough. And there is our trophy for getting to the beginning. And now Lazarus bleeds more. I thought that was the reward for Ultra Hard, but I guess I'm thinking of... I really don't know what I'm thinking of. What does this unlock? I actually genuinely don't know. Doesn't matter. We did another challenge. We only have Ultra Hard and a glass cannon remaining now, I guess. So getting there, getting pretty darn close. Only a challenge with a terrible unlock and a challenge with apparently a mystery unlock remaining, which is Ultra Hard. I should check that out, but I'll come back to that. Either way, that was that. It's an unusual challenge for sure. If you don't get a start, just reset until you do, because it's quite easy to just hold R until you get a build that at least deals some damage. If you mostly just pay attention to your damage stat, then usually you'll quickly run into a build that at least kind of works, and then you don't have to worry about things, as I had to do at the start of this challenge. But even with a build that's kind of mediocre at the start, it can get pretty amazing pretty quickly, especially with those 4 devil deals at the start of the dark room that you can pretty much guaranteed get because you start off with so many heart containers. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Next time we play, we'll be doing another run with a different character, and I hope to see y'all there. Bye bye.